Good afternoon. It's certainly a pleasure for me to be here with all of you today for this ceremony on the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Alliance Francaise in Lahore. As Dominique Scobry mentioned, this Alliance Francaise was the first one to be established in Pakistan in recognition of the major role played by Lahore as a cultural center in this country, as a city rich of heritage buildings, and a city of widespread culture and tradition. So we are very happy that this presence of the French Cultural Center was first established here 50 years ago in Lahore, which means that this presence has been developing over the past 5 decades and has really been changing depending on the evolution of the city, depending on the development of the city and of Punjab. We are not, of course, today on Bastille Day, which is the 14th of July, but nevertheless we are very close to the celebration of the French National Day on the 14th of July, so we thought it would be a good opportunity to meet with all our friends here in Lahore, in Punjab, and to organize a ceremony on both occasions. And so I'm very happy we could do it. This ceremony will begin in a few minutes now. And if you have any questions to Dominique Scobry or to me, I will be more than happy to answer. And he will be, of course, joining me for answering the questions. Thank you.
Nasir, Pakistan, from Pakistan Today newspaper. I need to ask you whether you have planned any other cultural activities in city, like you were shown in documentary.
Well, I think Dominique Scobry is much more in charge of new activities than I am, but I think basically we have 2 major ideas. One is to help in better knowledge in France of Pakistani culture. And we have been active also in organizing presentation, performances, exhibition of Pakistani artists in France and in Europe. And I think it's very important for this dialogue of cultures between the 2 countries to promote also those activities. Second, we are trying here to develop further the cultural activities through the Alliance Francaise network and to diversify this presentation. It's not only the promotion of French culture, but the promotion of French-speaking countries' culture, which means enlarging to what we call Francophony, which means basically all French-speaking countries in the world, culture and art. And we try to have representation of and presentation performances of artists coming from those different countries. And for example, for this World Music Day, we had performances from artists coming from French-speaking countries and not only from France. And I think the third point, which is very specific to Lahore, is that Alliance Francaise and the German Institute, Anne-Marie Schimmel House, share the same premises. So we are trying also to make special emphasis on activities which are both for Germany and for France, and which are an interaction between our 2 countries and Pakistan. For example, last February there was here an exhibition of pictures regarding Sufism, which was realized both by German and French photographers. But I think Dominique can elaborate much more than I can do.
Thank you. Merci, monsieur. Well, the next important cultural activity what we will have in the city will be, as I told you, in September, probably at the end of September, we will organize for the first time a French film festival. And we will have this opportunity probably with NCA, in collaboration with NCA. So you can really note, you will receive the news, but next September, the French festival film. Well, we used to have in Lahore a long time ago this kind of activity, but we are going to start again with a strong presence of cinema. You know, the French cinema must be represented now in the city. It will be the main event in collaboration with the French embassy.
Well, the important is not so much the French government, it's the French business companies. As far as the government is concerned, we have been developing over the past years, decades, programs of cooperation between Pakistan and France, and more especially focusing on two areas which are top priorities for the Pakistani government: energy, water and sanitation. Last week, for example, I attended in KP, in the Malakand agency, the inauguration of the rehabilitation of a power plant, hydropower plant, which has been entirely financed by the French Development Agency and which will generate electricity for 240,000 people. So we have a special focus on energy and more especially on green technologies, which are not only generating electricity but also helping in preventing floods and improving the irrigation system. And next week there will be another French project which will be inaugurated. We are financing other projects like the Munda Dam or others all over the country. Regarding the investment by French companies, we have now around, in the French-Pakistani Business Alliance, we have around 185 companies, subsidiaries of French companies or Pakistani companies working with France, and the investments by French companies has been developed by more than 40 of those companies in very different areas. It can be cement, Lafarge, it can be retail. Hyperstar here in Lahore is basically a French investment through a joint venture between Carrefour and an Emirate company, L'Oréal, pharmaceuticals, etc. So it's a very diversified investment of French company, and I must stress that all the French companies which decided to invest here in Pakistan stay. None of them has withdrawn from the Pakistani market, and they are expanding their activities. And so we have a rather large stock of French investment here in Pakistan, and we have some new projects, and so one or two major French companies are planning to announce in the coming weeks some new investment here in Pakistan. We know it's a priority of the new government, and we have been in discussion in order to reinforce this presence here, because our companies are quite convinced of the potential of the Pakistani economy for the years and the decades to come.